Here's Ian Begley with a report of how the Knicks will be pursuing Giannis.
Happens between now and the February 5th NBA trade deadline, you can be sure that the Knicks are going to be aggressive in pursuing Giannis Antetokounmpo in a trade from the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks, according to ESPN, open seriously considering offers from suitors for Antetokounmpo, and the Knicks obviously will want to be right there. Maybe they find out at some point that it's impossible, but they're certainly going to try behind the scenes to see where they can end up in this Giannis sweepstakes. If the Bucks want draft compensation, that's going to be tough for the Knicks. Remember, they traded first rounders for Mikal Bridges, traded one for Karl Towns, so they don't have much left in the bank right now in terms of draft picks. But if you waited until the offseason, the Knicks could trade as many as 2 first-rounders outright. And now I think that there's going to be a lot of competition with teams with better draft compensation.
Get back on defense.
And I think Miami is going to be right there with the Knicks and with whoever else in on Giannis. The Heat, I think, are well positioned on Giannis. I think they're going to be
going on.
Well, and they have, I believe, 2 first-rounders to offer at the moment. If you get into the offseason, that increases to 4. So if it comes down to draft compensation, it's going to be difficult for the Knicks. But remember, Giannis Antetokounmpo stating privately that he wanted to play in New York recently as this past offseason. And part of the reason he wanted to come here, I was told, was that he was enticed by the idea of winning a title in New York, something the Knicks haven't done since 1973. So with all that at play, you can be sure, again, Knicks are going to exhaust almost all avenues available to try to get Giannis. Whether they get to the finish line remains to be seen.
He started this in the summertime. Clearly, when Giannis mentioned that he's thinking about New York on the I Speed show, that wasn't an accident. The Knicks and the Bucks were rumored to have been talking about Giannis trade from the summertime, and now it's back on. Giannis has requested a trade in his own way. He's kind of sugarfooting, basically. But now, oh boy, you hear it. Ian Begley said the Knicks will be aggressively pushing for Giannis. Aggressively pushing for Giannis. Shams already said, Shams, the whole world is saying, Bucks, they know this thing is a divorce waiting to happen. What are your thoughts right now? We've been talking about it for a minute, but now that it's becoming a realer thing, what are your thoughts on Giannis being pursued aggressively by the Knicks and the whole thing in general?
Honestly, the front office, they have to make the move. Giannis has to come to New York. If the New York Knicks drop the ball and don't get Giannis Antetokounmpo, this will be one of the biggest flameouts probably in sports history. In Knicks history, rather, because there's never been a player of this caliber that was available that says he wants to come to New York and you don't get him. We have the pieces. It's not like we don't have the pieces. And if a third team has to get involved, then so be it. But the front office has put their backs against the wall. You have to make this move. You have to make this move. Miss me with how great we played tonight. I think, Mikal Bridges, Karl-Anthony Towns, a couple other players, like we have to start being honest. Dude's out the lineup. He's very inconsistent, injury prone a little bit. Listen, man, I think these guys have made it easy to be traded. It's that saying of it's a little too late. I think what Bridges and Karl have been doing lately, Duke's being on fire, I think it's a little too late. If we play like this all season, then there's no reason to go after Giannis. Now, that's where you put the ball in Giannis's court. Now, if you just flat out say, I only want to go to New York, then you have to go get him if we're playing well, right? It's up in the air. But the way we've been playing, listen, you have to go get Giannis Antetokounmpo. People may not want to hear that. People may be fatigued about it. But when you have an opportunity to get a former champion, finals MVP, a defensive player of the year, a 35 and 15 in his sleep, athletic, he fixes all our problems. He does what Cat does on both ends of the floor. He's offensively just as good as Cat, and defensively is not even close. He demands the double and triple team. He gets to the free throw line. he opens up the floor so crazy. So for me, Giannis makes us that much better. And I don't know what everybody else thinks or says. I know me and Flea's going to argue about this. Giannis comes here, and we still have Brunson, OG, Hart, Mitchell Robinson. We are a championship level team. Especially no Tatum, no Halliburton in the East. I think that catapults us way above Detroit. If we get Giannis Antetokounmpo and we also get along a Drew Holiday or Bobby Portis. So for me, this trade has to get done. It's been too much speculation. It's been on fire. Giannis has made it clear since the beginning of the season. This trade has to get done. If this trade doesn't get done and we flame out, we will look like the dumbest team in NBA history. And this front office will get flamed probably for the rest of their lives. This trade has to get done.
I think it all depends how we go moving forward, because it's looking like the Knicks and Miami Heat are the front runners to go after Giannis, and they're saying that both teams, us, the Knicks, and the Heat, can offer the most draft picks when the season is over. That plays a major part because the Bucks are looking for draft picks. The Kuminga thing from the Warriors, is it enticing enough? Don't know. Don't think so.
Let me cut you off. We have to understand the players have the power now. The players have the power now. So if it was that simple, Giannis would have been traded already. If Miami or these other teams have more draft picks, have better pieces, Giannis doesn't have a no trade clause. The players have the power now. So
but the Heat and the Knicks don't have. They get more draft picks at their season's end. So right now it's kind of like a stalemate. So so nobody really has the one up on us like that. Maybe
right.
I said OKC.
Okay, so I misunderstood what you said, but my point is, when we hear all these reports about where Giannis could go or should go, it doesn't matter. Giannis is saying, I only want to go to New York. That's why he hasn't been traded yet. So I don't care who has the one up on us. I don't care who's in the race with us. I don't care about Miami. The Knicks right now have the one up on everybody because Giannis is saying, I only want to go there. That's the power of these players now. KD said, I want to go to Phoenix. He went to Phoenix. Remember, he said, I don't want to go to Golden State. He don't have a no trade clause. So Giannis is doing the same thing. So it's up to us to make this move. That's why I say this move has to happen, and it will happen. It's just a matter of time.
Also, Giannis is due to sign the Supermax for more bread if he gets traded before the trade deadline, as opposed to getting traded in the summertime. There's a lot of factors as to why he would get traded mid-season before the trade deadline. I understand everything that everyone's talking about, but at this point, our defense is not championship caliber, and that's the bottom line. If there's a chance to have Giannis, OG Anunoby, Mitchell Robinson, any combination of Deuce McBride, Drew Holiday's in the damn trade rumors, you have to go get them. You have to go get them. Because will it be one-on-one, Giannis and Brunson? Is Mike Brown the perfect coach for Giannis? I don't fucking know. He went with Budenholzer, and they went bananas. And all I know is if you have a guy on the back line in Giannis, are we worried about them damn calf injuries? I don't believe him. I'm more worried about his back than anything else, because that's what really hurt him in the playoffs when he missed time and Miami came back and beat him. If there's any injury I'm worried about for anybody, any athlete, it's a back. And he hurt his back in the playoffs first round several years ago. The calf injury thing, of course, they're going to make it a big deal because people have been getting hurt lately, and that's nothing to, overlook. But, again, he's an MVP candidate, year in, year out. Yes, he's 30 years old. Cat's 30 years old. He's probably a year older than Cat. This guy's a monster, man. Everything about him makes sense. There's nothing about him that we're not going to want to root for game in, game out. Karl-Anthony Towns has been the same guy in Minnesota. He goes through these downs, he goes through these lows, and he doesn't seem inspired. And when you're not inspired, unfortunately, this is basketball. The spotlight is on you. There's a camera on you. None of us are going through this, but this is why you get paid $60 million. Giannis is going for $250, $300 million. He better know what he's signing up for. If anything, that's my reluctance about Giannis. The fact that he's not doing what you're saying, and taking advantage of the control that he has as a player in this era. I don't like that. Bro, come out and say it. That's the only thing holding me back. You're coming to New York. You're coming to New York. You cannot sugarfoot over here. Over here. We will hold you accountable a million times over. You don't even know what pressure is. Everybody's scared to come here for a reason. But you saw Cat and Brunson, who are nowhere near the star Giannis was 3-4 years ago when Brunson and Cat were at the helm. They were nowhere near Giannis as a star when you're the MVP candidate. And all of a sudden you see them get all this love in New York. You know what this is, Giannis. You watch soccer, you're an international guy. That was the other rumor. He compared it to a soccer crowd over here. He knows what it means. I'm gonna repeat. I'm gonna have to repeat it. You sell books, you sell movies, and you want to sell them bum-ass sneakers. And you know you can do it with ease if you win in New York. This is the place to do it. You will forever be a legend. I repeat, Joe Namath, we still celebrate that big-eared bastard. And it's been 60 years since the Jets won a fucking Super Bowl. What you think's going to happen with the Knicks? Giannis knows it. He wants to come here with a co-star on Jalen Brunson. Humble dude, by the way. Will he come here and will it be his team? Of course it will be. I don't know what the hell you people are arguing about. There's no debate. Giannis comes here, he will hold everybody accountable. All that shit Mike Brown is talking about, Giannis will look at him like, not doing that. Not doing that. We will not have any of these troubles that Cat is struggling with, saying, I can't do this, I can't do that. It's too many, the playbook is too confusing. Giannis's personality and his play type will take advantage of every single possession. That's what he does. He's a monster. He's a monster. He's one of them guys.
Listen, I don't understand us as Knicks fans at times, man. It's like it's clear he's better than Cat and Mikal put together. And I've said this for how long now? How many years? We are the only fan base that will convince ourselves to not go after the star player. What chemistry is Giannis breaking up? What is Giannis going to come here and not do that Cat and Bridges is doing? Like it's mind-boggling. That's why we call it Knicks Rehab, because we are insane as Knicks fans. I'm going to say it again. We are the only fan base that will convince ourselves, nah, don't go get Giannis. We good with what we got. He'll mess up the chemistry. What chemistry? What chemistry? Like, so listen, I don't know what people are thinking, but in today's NBA, you need the guy. You need a good 1-2 punch. We don't have a 1-2 punch. Our 2 punch goes missing every game. So it's like, think about the team we would have. We will be built like that championship Milwaukee Bucks team. He will have his Drew Holiday in OG. He will have his Chris Middleton in Brunson. He will have his Brook Lopez in Mitchell Robinson. He will have his glue guy in Josh Hart. And then don't bring along Drew Holiday or Bobby Portis. And then, so for me, I don't understand how people can sit there and say not to make this move, but then allow Giannis to go to a Miami. So how is Giannis better in Miami and not better in New York? Please explain. Who's Miami going to have to give up? Tyler Hero? Bam? What are they going to have that's going to make them better than the Knicks? When we still going to have Brunson, OG, Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson. Yo, I love y'all, but sometimes I think y'all crazier than me, and I'm a nut. But Fabian, at the end of the day, this shit is big news. Wendy said it. It's not the NBA trade deadline. It's the Giannis deadline. This trade deadline is built around Giannis Antetokounmpo. And it's evident. We are all smart. There's one place he want to go. Because if it was wherever, he would have been traded already. This thing been broken forever. It ain't happened yet because there's only one place he wants to go. And it's the New York Knicks. So we're patiently waiting. I know there's some particulars and some things that has to be worked out. maybe a third team. And like you said, Mikal Bridges can't be traded until February something. But this trade has to go down. It must go down. The front office has to make this trade. They have to make this trade. Because if they don't, they in trouble. They in trouble.
You know what this is.
Knicks Rehab.
Knicks Rehab, y'all.